In 5, 4, 3, 2. Yo, what is good? What is bragging with you? I am the DJC, aka the DonJuanCarlos, and we are back for the second episode of the Choo Choo the Moon podcast. We are brought to you we have a very special guest today, actually. So let me just reintroduce myself. I am the DJC, aka the DonJuanCarlos. I have my co-host Blazign. Good. And our other co-host Wolfy is currently missing at the moment, so he might come in mid pod, and we'll just make it work. So I want to bring you our special guest that we're having today. We are having the Gaming Monk, who is also a content creator for Destiny 2. He also streams Hearthstone. He is our OG here on the pod, and he's just the man. You got anything to say, Monk?
No, I'll sit idly by and wait for my moment to pill.
Awesome. So, like last week, how we started this, how we created this, we usually gonna do topics, but this week, since the new season of Destiny 2 dropped, I didn't make it an effort to actually make sure everybody had topics this week. So we're basically just gonna be talking about just the grind, how we feel about the new season so far, and really just how we're feeling about the game so far. It is Saturday, Trials is out and live. A few of our team members have played Trials, so they'll give us a little in-depth experience of how that was like, and we'll just get the different perspectives of two people who have no life the game for the past 3 days and a filthy casual. So I want to give the floor
I'm not a casual.
Oh, you definitely
You
are
got
a
on
casual.
and run a crown, and then you left.
You definitely are a casual. So I'm gonna throw it actually to Monk here, because he's our resident expert on this game. How you feeling about the new?
I wouldn't say expert on me.
Bro, let me big you up, fam. Let me big you up.
I'd say scholar, but not expert.
Mm-hmm. Hey, scholar. We'll go with scholar then. How you feeling about the new season so far?
Right, so I mean, it's like the only bad thing that I've been able to figure out is that they didn't have ritual, because it's like right about now I'd either be playing Trials or I'd be grinding for the Vanguard ritual, because I set it by week, and I'm like, well, this week I'm gonna get the Vanguard, this week I'm gonna get the Gambit, and this week I'm gonna get the Crucible. It's usually the first 3 weeks I have all the rituals. So it's like right now it's just like I don't want to go into strikes, I don't want to play Crucible, I don't want to play any other Crucible mode other than Trials, and I don't want to play Gambit at all. Like I play Gambit for my powerfuls, and then that's it, and then I leave, and I never play Gambit again.
Yeah, same.
Because I mean, it's like that. There's nothing to grind for in the modes. It's just kind of like if you enjoy them, and anyone that enjoys strikes in their free time, I pray for you. And if you enjoy Gambit, you're fucking insane. You need to be checked in somewhere. Like fucking goddamn.
Yeah, I felt like, for me, like the not having the ritual weapons is a bummer, because I was really wondering what kind of super weapon are we gonna get, because Randy's on launch when it came out with Season of Dying was busted. Then in Season of Dawn, since you could put ATB and Unstoppable on it, it is even more busted. And so far for this season, Randy's has been put to the wayside. I haven't even seen it in the PvP.
I've seen it in Gambit.
People running Randy's in Gambit?
Yeah. Just for easy invader denial. It's like a 5-tap or something.
Oh. Well, I didn't know.
Like it's good in Gambit, but that's about it. I think losing ATB, Unstoppable, all that really took it out. Like I don't think it's a bad weapon. I just think it's not as practical in everything as it was.
Yeah, it's not the one one trick. Because definitely when I was able to solo the Nightfalls, like especially the arms dealer, being able to run Randy's with Ender's Vow, basically just put it over the top, and you couldn't really go wrong, and you just dumpstered everything in the strikes, which I'm gonna miss it really for easy strike completions, but new season, definitely we need a new so just something new to use. What about you, Blazing? How are you feeling about the season so far?
Here,
You,
Blazing.
you, Blazing.
I'm just kind of like, hey, trials.
Mm-hmm. Are you a trials bot?
Yeah, he's a
I mean,
trials
no. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a human breathing person.
Nah, that sounds like a trials bot.
All right, listen here. All right, I am God Gamer.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a lie. And
That
lying is a sin, and sinners go to hell. So have fun.
Shame, I'm God.
that's definitely still not true. But all right, man. So for me, the season so far, it started off pretty good. Like that. Let's just preface this with like Bungie straight up was like, yeah, we're gonna have the new season come out, and coronavirus is everywhere, so everybody can stay home and play the game. But the the game came out like busted as shit, and we couldn't connect to anything for like at least what was it for this week? At least an hour. It felt like we just couldn't connect to anything to actually play the game with each other. What do you think? How much was that, Monk?
I mean, it was a couple days, and even now we have problems when we're connecting like at peak hours.
Mm-hmm. Like even
But I
when
mean,
we're
it's not as bad as like Shadowkeep launch.
oh yeah,
Shadowkeep launch was a train fucking wreck, and this was just like a golf cart wreck.
yeah. It was bad, but like once we actually got logged into the game, like everything like cooled out. I still have issues sometimes where I have to freaking go to my settings, go to turn on the freaking frame rate cap, and then have to go back and turn it back off so I can play on my default settings, which is pretty stupid. And Bungie can't actually patch it because everyone is home quarantining themselves from the corona. Which, by the way,
Well, I mean,
everybody
DMG's
stay
working
safe.
from home. Like, it's not like, dude, it's not like they're writing a newspaper or like need to be at like a printing press to get this shit done. The entire thing's like electronic. Like, they can work from home.
Yeah.
And it's just like they should be working on specific parts. Like, they should have had a Fallout plan and be like, all right, well, these people are going to work on this. These people are going to monitor this. These people are going to be in charge of this. If the inevitable, like, if we have to stop coming in because of this virus, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Which, they didn't do. I'm not even
Yeah,
like.
I mean, I don't know if they did,
Mhm.
or I don't know if they
Yeah, that
didn't,
sounds
and I don't know if the plan fell through. I don't know what.
Mhm. I was just kind of hoping like as long as, cause the only thing I need is just them to just send out a patch, to freaking just improve like the frame rate and all like the visual stuff, like not being able to connect and all that, and that like other than that there was no issues. Honestly, the season, like the opening cutscene was fire. Like seeing Anna's new voice actor, seeing Zavala jump on the Almighty, and we're like, oh my god, he totally blocked the sniper bullet with his shoulder. That was super pog, man. Like that was awesome. Like so, there's no issue there. It's just the same thing that always happens at the start of like a new season or a new anything, where the game just.
I mean, it didn't happen with Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
It was just this season because everybody wanted Trials back.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right about Dawn.
I mean,
but
you're having like Season of the Dawn launch. We were playing like all day one, and we didn't even like have
we
any
didn't even
problems.
notice.
Like there was no connection issues. There wasn't any issues with the emblem, but I mean, they also did overhaul the entire emblem change. You know,
Yeah.
I wish they would do what like Siege does.
Mm-hmm.
To a degree, like. For example, I wish they would have waited to do the emblem changes and stuff like that until like a mid-season patch. So like they can show what's happening, they can test it out, flush out any bugs, and then release it like halfway through the season. And then that way launch is a lot more stable and you have like people that are okay and aren't having connectivity issues like we were.
Also, like one thing that Siege has the luxury of is like they have a test server for like, so a lot of those changes you can just jump on the test server, test it out for a couple weeks. They can get data on it instead of just saying, well, we just made this new thing, we don't know if it works, and just like we're just gonna throw it out into the wild, which.
Well, I mean, Destiny can make a fucking test server.
Yeah, I'm sure they can. Like, if,
Like I feel like there
Mhm.
should be only 3 modes in it. Like, because I know Siege you can only play like quick play and ranked. Like you can't do everything. But I mean, it's like, and it doesn't count in the real game what you do on the test server. It's like a separate version of the game. So what I was gonna say is like we could have like a test server where you can hop on and test out new exotics. You can hop on and test out new features. That way they can get data on it. And then everybody has access to every exotic. So, I mean, if you wanted to try out these nutty, like, combos, you can.
Yeah, bro, that'd actually be a blessing. But I think that's no, you know what? Let's have that conversation. So if we had a test server, what do you think should be? What are the 3 game modes you think you should be? Definitely like.
I think it should be Vanguard playlist strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Like a set list of playlist or strikes.
Mm-hmm.
And then so like maybe like inverted spire, so you have like a Cabal and Vex one, and then maybe one with Scorn, and maybe like 1 strike with each enemy, so you can test out new mods and stuff. And then maybe like a Gambit, like regular Gambit, right? And then like Clash in Crucible, so you can play each game mode, right, and test it, and then that way you can get feedback. So like let's say like DJ, we have the mods on for the melee ability recharge.
Yeah,
we should look at like we could test to see what repercussions that would have like with broken builds.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing that if what I'd want, because if they made it like a test server, kind of like they did for the beta for D2 on BattleNet, where it's like you have the Crucible, you have a set amount of weapons in like the loot pool, but you have all the exotics, and then you can just run around in like whatever activity that you want, pull out what you want.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is it's like you could do that the entire like 2 weeks before the next season, and you could do that and get people interested in the season, maybe tease the seasonal activity. So it's like the test server for Siege, because like if I played the test server for Void Edge, I'd be like, whoa, like I want to get this. Like if I was someone that wasn't really sure about getting the new year pass, I'd be like, you could get the content for free and try it out.
Yeah, and that promotes people actually wanting to buy the content in the game. Like, of course, like you and I will just buy the content anyway because we enjoy playing this game and we can't wait for like the new season. But for people who are like maybe don't have the season pass, or like don't have like Shadow
or don't even like are the free players of the game, you know what I mean?
They
like
can
because
still
there's like a
enjoy-
really cheap version of Siege and it's like $10. So I mean, having the test server, because every operator's unlocked on the test server, it's like you can kind of see what's
you can see what's up,
be tempted to buy the game.
What about you, Blazing? We need your input on what a test server would actually make available to players if they had it.
Well, no, you guys pretty much already said what I was thinking. So I feel no.
Say that one more time. You kind of. All right, thanks, Blazing. I'm actually let you lead, Blazing. Let you lead this next topic. What do you see right now, from the casual perspective of how the game is, as a casual player, not the game itself being a casual game?
I am not a casual.
Listen here, you haven't grinded out that much, and you've only played the game 3 times this week. So
yeah,
by
I
definition,
mean, it's like Blazing. If you didn't want to be a casual, you could be like in this game since like day one with me and DJ just playing. But I mean, you haven't like loaded up the game or anything like that. I mean, it's like we're not saying casual in a bad way. It's we genuinely value your input on what you think of the seasons.
Yeah, because like you figure Blazing, you have a different perspective. Like myself and Monk are kind of like skewed because we've been going so hard the past 3-4 days, making sure like we're upgrading the bunker, making sure we're doing literally everything. And
all right, okay, fine. You want my casual?
Not in a bad way.
We don't want
but
your casual. We want you like
from the perspective of someone who doesn't play as often as they want to play. That's what your perspective is for.
Well, my perspective on the matter is it's a nice little goal of, having little bunker and things, feel like you're making progress on something. I feel like it gets really repetitive and boring really fast sometimes. Like it has moments where it's just like, do I really gotta do this again? And like that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's Destiny. You're gonna grind it. It's whatever. But I feel like
do you think the grind's worth it? Like
that's what I'm trying to figure out because I don't know yet. Because it's not like I'm getting like ritual weapons or like pinnacles off of it. It's like,
well, technically you are.
You do get pinnacles. You do get pinnacles, and you do get powerfuls.
I do get powerful. So I guess the grind is worth it.
But it's like how much time do you want to invest to actually get?
Yeah, because I feel like how long is like the hype for it gonna last, right? Because like there's no new raid. There's like what? There's like a new public event, Nito, I guess. And trials. Which just is everybody who was sweating competitive is now in trials. And if you want trials gear, woo Nelly.
You definitely can't be casual trying to run into trials.
Yeah, you definitely can't be like that. Removes an experience.
Or at least you can. I don't know how they're matchmaking.
You're not gonna have fun. You're just not gonna have fun.
Well, you don't know that. People might actually like getting their shit pushed in for no reason.
Okay, if you like that, then by all means, go for it. However, but it seems like we're gonna get into a situation that we had with like freaking with survival and stuff.
What, spare ration spam?
Yeah, just spare ration spam.
Oh no, the spare ration is definitely not in trials right now.
Nah, bro, hard light and matchbox. But no, it's like there's a certain level I feel like if you're new to the game, you're coming in and you're just like, oh, trials, what's this thing? Gotta be 960? Yeah, I'll play it. And you go in, you're scarred for life. Some dude calls you the N-word in team chat. Like, you didn't even know there was a team chat till today.
Well, I don't think people in Destiny are saying the N-word in team chat.
Hey,
bro.
Hey, bro, you don't know. You might be. Worst case scenario.
I mean, I guess, yeah, that's worst case scenario, but
we'll see how long it lasts. I just wish there was a little bit more.
Well, that's the thing, right? So, and this would be a perfect conversation if Wolfy was here, but we won't talk about that. Like I don't blame them from my perspective right now that there's not like a whole lot of content, because you have to figure they're recreating trials, and it's not just as easy as copy and paste it from D1 as some people would say, like, oh wow, they just brought trials back from Destiny 1. They're so lazy Bungie, or whatever they'll say. But you gotta figure, like, Destiny 2 is an entirely different like game system. And it's not as easy as just be like, and even like with Trials of the Nine, it's not, you can't just like point and click or copy and paste it because of power creep, because of how Bungie has made weapons like Recluse, which they keep trying to say they nerfed it, but it's still broken. Continues to be one of the best submachine guns in the game, and it has ATB, so it's coming back this season.
Nerf Recluse.
But like, you considering all those weapons pinnacle weapons, freaking spare how auto rifles work, how hand cannons work, and having to like completely revamp the game in a new sense so that it's more fun and a lot more balanced, which it's not right now. But it's only week 1. Let's just say it's only week 1, so it's subject to change.
I give it the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm. So that's just like what it is. And if you're just, again, like I understand why there's not a whole lot of content, because of how much like effort they have to do to make sure that like trials / PvP is in a state that isn't completely unplayable like it was. Like it was really bad last season. Like
it was really
in
bad.
Shadowkeep, like it was probably just as bad as Shadowkeep, but because like we were our clan itself was just playing together so much, a lot of that stuff got overridden and we didn't notice it as much because we're just playing with our friends to like just do stuff. But last season was definitely pretty bad. Like the whole start of the PvP for last season, where everybody is just spamming arbalists and shit, is like no, Monk knows. He'll tell you.
I think that's more of a fucking ritual problem than it is a meta problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Since they put the ritual as a linear fusion, it restricted people to play Arbalest, because that's the most convenient to get fusion right, linear fusion. Like you're not gonna wait for heavy, get 3 shots, and then maybe you get 1 a game. Every life you can get 2 rounds with Arbalest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
so I think like stuff like that, like it needs to be like a little bit different. So if they are to bring rituals back, it shouldn't restrict you to just weapon kills. I think it should be an objective that's more for the game.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and like for a crucible ritual, you need to like compete and like Randy's one of the step that I'm on is good, but it's like, do you remember like the recluse grind, how you had to get multiple steps, or like the mountaintop grind, or Luna's, even like Luna's you had to do multiple steps and go back to shacks every time, but these pinnacles or rituals, it's just like go do this one arbitrary objective and you're fine.
So that actually makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense. But how am I supposed to get my Lunas as everybody survival splits like there's no tomorrow?
You can still grind it though. Like the point of like what, and this is one of the things that I talked to Rez about.
The thing is it's like Luna's, you don't need to get to whatever it is until after all these other steps are completed. Yeah, so it literally doesn't matter. Just go play survival, and even if you're getting like kind of deleted, you're gonna drop in ranks and just face bots.
Yeah, and again, so one of the things about like the trial weapons, like, and I spoke to this about Rez a little bit, is like with the ritual weapons being forced to just play like comp when you like don't want to is a mechanic that's just not fun in the game. Yeah. And like for me, who doesn't play PvP that much, except when I'm playing with you guys, and even comp less, like running into a game, like I'll play a comp game like once every 3 weeks or something, just to like work on my Lunas. Not fun. Yeah, and having 3 people on the enemy team with Thorn or spare rations just to get dumpstered on for like an entire match just makes me not want to play the game. Just so, or like you get dumpstered on just so you can try and get a Lunas, and you have to hit a certain glory rank.
Yeah, and it's like because of like the pacing of how survival is, it's like it's gonna take you so long to get it. Because survival's not like fast paced; it's like really slow paced.
Honestly, if it was a different game mode, and I understand why they chose survival as the main game mode in comp, because there was too many before, and they just like just shrinked it down to 1. It's if they just change the game mode, I honestly think it'd be better. Like even elimination is from what I've played in Crucible Labs and a little bit in Trials and stuff. You're not limited to just killing a bunch of them and just having life advantages camping in the corner, and even people don't play objective either. Like they'll be tied and they'll just rather run around kills rather than get point contention in order to win the round that way, which is a different topic in itself. That's just player mentality versus actually how to play the game, which is something different. But from what I've gotten so far in this season is, especially PvP and stuff like that, I've had a lot more fun even with the OP auto rifles right now, rather than what was happening last season with all of the mind benders and spare rations and shit running around. What do you guys
I was
think?
just talking with a guy in the sludge, a random hunter added me in, and we were talking, we were the auto rifle buff was a little bit too much, and I think Hardlight needs a nerf, and he agreed, but it's like the scout rifles from last season, I don't think was too much because it made them viable, which brought forward more meta diversity. It wasn't so much just hand cannon, shotgun, or hand cannon sniper on any map whatsoever. You know what I mean? But last season it was wow, I can run this scout rifle in my secondary and run a hand cannon, or I can run a scout rifle in my kinetic and then run a shotgun.
You can run oxygen, bro.
It's I mean, you can have so much different meta diversity because of the scout rifle buff, but right now they overdid the auto rifle buff.
It's a bit overtuned.
You can only run auto rifles. If they scale it back a little bit, it won't make auto rifles absurd, but it'll make auto rifles viable.
I think one of the only auto rifles, the exotic auto rifles right now that's viable slash it's viable slash balanced, I would say, is probably Tommy's matchbook. That is a fair auto rifle to go against sometimes. Sometimes you'll run up against it and they'll do a lot of damage to you, but the risk versus
but they're
reward,
also deleting themselves.
Yeah, that's the risk versus reward of using it. So, and when you're fighting against Zeros, it's kind of especially if someone has a catalyst, we fought on, what was it, Tuesday, when the patch drop, or Wednesday, where homeboy was just oh yeah, just shitting on everybody, and we somehow still won that game. I'm not gonna question it. Shouts out to Monk carrying the team as per usual. That's our team carry.
Hey, I try.
But fighting Zeros or running into Hardlight to get domed across the map is just not fun. And I'm sure either this week or the week coming up or this week, they're gonna do something about the auto rifles. They're just not gonna leave them like that. Which the reason for having a test server makes so much sense, because if they put out the buff for auto rifles, they're gonna be like, "Whoa there, buddy, we're gonna scale this down a little bit because we don't need these auto rifles to be doing that much damage." And that way you don't have to nerf Hardlight specifically, because you can still get all the best parts of Hardlight. It just doesn't. You just have a fighting chance for it. Right, hold on. So, Blazign, take us away.
Oh well.
Take us away. You're gonna.
Wait, what are we taking to?
Bro, where do you want to take it, bro?
Bro, I can
this
take
is
it
your
to
time.
Neverland. Bro, we going to Disney? We going to Disney World?
Oh, bro, we going to Disney. We go to Disney.
Yo, bro, we going to Disney? Oh man, I didn't agree to go to Disney, bro.
All right, but seriously, Blazign.
Hold on. Before we start the next topic, what's better, a Interrail with threat detector, rampage, range masterwork, accelerated coils, enhanced battery, spark PS, or jolt PS, which are the sights, or Interrail with moving target, backup plan, reload speed masterwork, projection fuse, and flash HS5?
I think the backup plan ends up being a lot better because you get the bonus damage as soon as you whip it out, and the bonus charge. I'm pretty sure is what that is. What it gives you.
It only gives you increased charge time and increased handling speed.
Mm-hmm.
Or reduced charge time. And the charge time's already 860, and I can get it to 820.
Mm-hmm. That might be better because in PvP, well, if you're going to use it in PvP, like how often are you going to be able to use the Randy's charge is the real question.
I get that, but I mean, there's a lot of times where you're not also going to be able to reload it, and if you are, you're going to be in.
Yeah, so either one is good. It just depends. Again, it's just situational on which one would be better.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I might keep both. I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
but take it wherever you want now.
Here's what I say. I actually want to talk a little bit about Trials, and I didn't get a chance to play this weekend so far, so I'm going to have Monk talk a little bit about it.
You act like it's over.
Yeah, it's not over, but at the time of this pod, at the time of this pod, like actually going live, like on Spotify / like right now, as of right now, I haven't had a chance to play it, so I'm gonna hand it over to Monk to just talk about like first for you, and this is turning like into an interview of Monk, which I'm so down for because he's just so knowledgeable. The scholar.
Knowledge.
The scholar, he himself. So, first of all, how are you feeling about Trials coming back so far?
I like Trials coming back because I didn't get to play it as much in D1.
Is it the feeling of like nostalgia for you? Did you actually, like from your first experience yesterday, when you got into your first game, like what was that like for you?
Hard light spam.
I mean, yeah. If you could put the hard light spam aside and like
If I put the hard light spam aside, it's one map that we got, and it looks like it's one map continuously. But the thing is it's like it's a good map. It's Fracture. It's the one on Mercury's future with like the big beam through it with Heavy in the middle, and you have the altar. All that, or Altar Flame, or whatever it is. I mean, that's a good 3v3s map, but I'm happy about it. But there's just so much that's being abused in it right now. Like, I was talking to that Hunter, God, I'm getting the hiccups. And I'm like, we can't, we can't really push anything because there's hard light spam around every corner. And I mean, yeah, it's annoying, but also, it's what the meta is right now. So I don't blame people for using it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, like, I've considered using it, and the hunter said, well, if you can't beat him, join him. And I'm like, well, you're damn right.
That's how I felt
it's
about
like, it's not...
Lord of Wolves during Season of Opulence.
And I mean, it's... Yeah, dude. And I mean, it's like, it's not that I don't want to play other classes. It's that you just can't with how strong auto rifles are, especially Hardlight and Strokes. I think Hardlight's the most OP gun in the game right now. Like, high key, and I never thought I would have to say that, but I did. But I mean, it's just like, it's so strong. It's so good for denial. It's good for canceling basically an entire enemy push because they can't push through a stream of bullets that all deal like extra damage after being off the wall. You know what I mean?
Is the damage off the wall, I'm not sure, is it halved or does it do increased damage?
No, it does more. You get a bonus for over-pierced targets and ricochet shots. So what you'll do is you'll see where they're kind of pushing from and just spam that choke.
That's
and then boom, that's
disgusting.
how you win with Hardlight.
That's absolutely awful. I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what it is. Are we having connectivity issues again?
I think so.
Okay, because I loaded into the tower and both of y'all got kicked, and then I invited DJ back and we loaded into Mars, and DJ just got kicked.
Yeah, it's being very weird right now. We'll figure it out. But
yeah, I mean, I'm not sweating it.
So that definitely a lot of hard light spam. Now, when it comes to Were you IGLing for trials or not?
What do you mean?
And you were being the in-game leader for your team.
I had to be. I tried to make Ayers be because I
Mhm.
wasn't all there, and I
He
recognized
didn't
that.
even bring
But
me.
This
I mean,
was
it's like
last night.
between me, Ayers, and Saucy. I made the calls, and then I tried to make Ayers make the calls, and then it didn't happen. So I
Mhm.
kept making the calls.
Okay, so, all right. Do you think it would have worked better for your team if you were able to, because I know you said that you were a bit off, but you were
Yeah, dude,
definitely drinking.
I wasn't
You
all
were.
there, but I was. The thing is it's like people underestimate that since I have ADD and ADHD,
Mhm.
and it can get kind of severe sometimes, especially when my anxiety is peaking.
Mhm.
So it's like I at times am better when I can just go on auto. So I'll
Mhm.
sit and just like zone out and I'll be on autopilot. However, I'll play a lot better because autopilot takes in the information that I know and plays better. It's not like I'm trying to overanalyze every situation. Like example, in an Overwatch, like last night I played with Sly and we won 5 out of the 5 games that we played in comp together.
Mhm.
Like we went on a huge win streak and I'm like, well, that's because like I was playing Lucio and I just went on autopilot and did what I needed to do. But I mean, I still went positive, but I mean, it's like I don't have the capability to be the shot caller. So if somebody else steps up and be's the shot caller, I can support them fully. And it's like it was really showed well in like when we were playing Dive, since Ryan got banned, Dive's just really good this week in
Mhm.
Overwatch. And I know we're talking about Overwatch, but this is like what a trials team needs is like a support fragger, an entry fragger, and a leader,
Yeah.
like in my opinion. And we didn't have that. So I mean it's really hard to get that traction. But I mean, when I have somebody going, all right, we're gonna push this right side and then we're gonna stack up on this wall and see where they're going and make our decision off that, I can play that a lot better.
Mhm.
And if you have a member like that in your trials team, you're gonna go a lot further. And if you have a adequate like team build, it's going to go a lot better than if you just LFG. So you need people that you have synergy with. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I feel like we haven't had that in Crucible in fucking years.
Yeah.
Like I've been playing since maybe mid 2019, 2018. No, 2019. No, 2018. I played all of 2019. And in this game, and I played it on BattleNet, and I mean, overall, I have never seen Crucible that requires this much coordination, and I love it. But I mean,
Mhm.
it's like at the same time, there's weapons that don't make it fun.
Yeah. So I think that's the important part, right? Having the overall, of course, like we'll deal with the weapons when we deal with them, but the goal for the overall fun and how much brain power it takes makes it worth act like dealing with all the BS. Like, and
Yeah,
I totally get it.
like I mean, I'm gonna be so happy when I get to go to the lighthouse for the first time, like
Mm-hmm.
because I know we worked hard to get there. It's
Yeah.
not like you got like it's not getting to like Fable or it's not getting to like Legend on your own each season because that requires your teams and it's like just a number. This is
Mm-hmm.
like an actual achievement.
Yeah. And like I know for me what I can see, because usually when we play IB, I'm doing most of the shot calling. I don't know if you noticed that, but I noticed that for myself. Like I'll call like this is
Yeah, and
where
I
they're pushing
support the fuck
for.
out of it.
Yeah, and that's usually how we win a bunch of our games. So
Yeah.
I can see for myself is like working on actually doing that in a more controlled setting. Because even when I was practicing with Wolfie and Rez, when I wasn't actually shot calling or actually like this is where they're at, let's take this push, let's do another push, we didn't win as many games. And for
Yeah, like I mean, it's because Ayers is the support and I'm the entry. Like
mm-hmm,
we play really well together because we all play off each other's strengths and weaknesses. Like it's like you can be the strategist, but I mean, it's like I would prefer to have you a little bit more behind because you're the one that can hit up with that swift follow and the swift hand of justice. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Like if we have 1 or 2 people low, you're gonna be able to just tap 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 them all and be consistent enough to get those kills that we need to.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that, or out of the realm of crazy that I'm the one that kind of just fucking goes off and really doesn't, like, tries to get like 1 or 2 picks while I'm up. And then if I die, oh well. But I mean, it's like, I traded or I started momentum for us to get a push off or something like that. Because it's like, that's why it's like Ayers plays a lot of support and I play a lot of tank on Overwatch, is because that's where our skills reflect to. And we weren't playing like that. But I mean, and we got punished because we weren't playing like that. And we needed to play like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, and that's even when we were running into Crucible early this week, we had that sort of synergy again, even if Rez was playing, because we had you playing on tank and double support, because I'm running behind you with Lunas, or running behind either one of you two with backup support, like refragging you, making sure, which is important. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but like a lot, especially in PvP, there aren't that many refrags. Like, they're not calling it; they're just like letting somebody just kill them and then just running off instead of constantly being with each other. And when you notice teams that like run in like threes, why they're so successful is because they're refragging. They're either team shooting, refragging. None of them are going by themselves. Which, not to call Wolfy out again. But that's something that, and he's part of the clan, he's part of the team. That's something when playing with him needs to be worked on a little bit. And us, I think it would make more sense if we sort of not punish him for making the wrong plays, but like sort of like with you, Monk, when you can go on autopilot, figure out a way to empower him to feel like he can do what he needs to do. And not be restricted in a certain game mode. And like elimination, I know for me, like, because when I clutched last week, and I told you guys I had the 3v1 Devour clutch, the pressure was on for me to just, and like that round that I won wasn't a make or break round, but in the moment you're 3v1ing and you're trying to find a way.
You're trying to get that momentum, yeah.
Like, not being worried
winning
about
a round after like your team has gotten kind of shit on and you clutching, it rallies that team around you, and it gives that forward momentum that you can go on and win the next.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it really does make the difference that we needed to. So me and Mark have been talking about this. What about you, Blake? What's your perspective around?
So no, I don't want to talk about.
Well, no, what I'm asking you, if you let me finish, is when it comes to actually building team comps in Crucible, where do you see for yourself? Where do you fit in? / like what would be your preferred role to play?
I have no idea.
You don't know how you play your own game?
Listen, some days I'm good. Other days,
what kind of role do you play in League?
I usually play a solo. Well, I play solo usually in the solo lane.
Like, what lane do you play?
Mid and top.
Mid and top. Yeah, you're an entry fragger.
You're
an entry fragger. You're meant to be that person that can get that pick, and then from what I've played of top, and this was a while ago. Like, if I got a pick on top in a 1v1 with the other guy that was playing top, I'd usually get my jungler to come up and help when we make a push on top lane.
Yeah, that's more or less right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like, that's what you want, is you're that entry fragger like me, so I would go in, get that kill, and then Ayers would be the one that would support and follow back up and get me back up on the next kill. You know what I mean? Or if I die, get my res, something like that. So I mean, it's like, you're an entry fragger like I am. You'd be like a main tank in Overwatch. That's what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Which isn't that isn't
like
a bad role.
If you like played Overwatch and committed to learning like Rhine really well, you could be a really good Rhine, because I'm like an insane Rhine. Like, but I don't like to play Rhine. But I mean, it's like, at the same time, I'm insane at Rhine, because I know that if my team supports me and follows me up, we're gonna win the game. You know what I mean? And it's that same way on top. If you know your team's gonna back you up, you're gonna play a little bit more aggressive, and you're gonna play a little bit more. You're gonna play a little bit more confident if you know you have your team behind you than if you know you're going to be taking every single fight up by yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like, if you like, what do you think about adapting that into Destiny? Is what we're getting.
I don't know, man. I usually get forced to flex, so I don't know. I don't have a preference at this point.
Well, I don't think when you're playing with us, you're not forced to flex, because honestly, like in casual game modes like Control and what's his face, and like Clash, there's not as much like need to flex because you're just running around getting kills. But like, so actually, let me ask you this, right? Monk set you up for a good point. Like when it comes to comp, and when you were trying to grind out Lunas, which you still can, where did you see yourself like as your position in the team? Were you running around with your teammates, or were you rather just like trying to do things on your own?
Well, no, I had to run around with them because they run off and die, and I at least wanted to pick up a kill.
Now, I'll ask you the next question. They were running around and dying, so you had to try and pick up a kill. Did you find yourself leading some of the kills or not? Like leading the frags to open up the...
most of the kills.
Well, that's what an entry fragger is.
But then I also had hella assists half the time.
Well, that's it. That's just you don't need... The important thing is, like, especially when it comes to comp / like game modes like Trial, you don't need all the kills. You're really, like, as entry frag, like, you open up the game for your team to follow up, but you yourself don't need to actually get all the kills. Like, if you get an early pick, and that allows for someone like Rez to like push a certain corridor or gain ground that way, they have the freedom and flexibility to do that because of your contribution to the team. Now, I've been on support, and I played support for a long time, and that's probably like my favorite role. So like, you know, doing rush pushes to make sure people have backup, or like setting people up at like 1 HP so that either you, Monk, anybody could just like get an easy kill, leaves me more fulfilled rather than me top fragging like literally everything.
Yeah.
And like Monk knows, like I've messed around with a lot of different builds. Like Telesto is freaking disgusting, and being able to deny area for the rest of my team to like push in, or just holding down a certain area, like holding down B flag by myself, which I can do, so that they can just run around and do whatever they need to frag and get points, ends up being better for our comp versus us, like all three of us just running around. You get what I mean? So the question for you is, where in all of that, where do you see yourself in terms of actually, like, where do you see you want to like progress, or where do you see you want to like expand yourself when it comes to like actually playing comp, like getting yourself ready for trials, which you can be if you hang out with us for a couple days.
You know, I like playing other games too much.
Yeah, I understand, but you the one who said you were committed to actually like playing trials and actually doing well.
He ain't gonna be committed.
Oh, see, now I gotta do it out of spite.
Not even out of spite. Like, I'll tell you this: don't ever try and like commit to something out of spite. Like, you really want to take something on because you said that you want to do it, that you think that it actually benefits you. Like, when I told Monk this week that I was gonna get on and start like streaming / grinding with him, dog, I was ready. But I did it because I know.
Blazign said that too. I'm just like kind of expecting him to go, well, I don't want to play that anymore, and just like. But I mean, I know he can be good, but I mean, he's just not proving it to me. So I mean, I think he's a beta male.
Bro, the cards are on the table, fam.
The cards are on the table. You just gotta pick them up and play your hand, and you're not doing either. It's like you have no arms, and you're trying to pick up the cards with your mouth, and you're not even doing that right. Like, that's how your destiny is going right now.
I knew having Monk on this pod was a great idea. Oh.
You know what? Monk? We'll see. We'll
See
see.
bro, that's another. You're just trying to pick up the cards with your mouth again.
Nah.
See,
bro.
when you go, you see, you're not gonna fucking do it. Like, I mean, if I said, yo, Blazing, while we're doing this, you should be grinding your light level up so we can play trials tonight, you'd go, yeah, I don't know. And as soon as this ends, you're gonna go, I'm gonna go play League.
Joke's on you, I've been doing bounties. Eat my butt.
Have you been doing your powerful rewards or just random bounties?
I'm literally doing my Vanguard, Crucible, and just
There you
finished
go.
the clan rewards.
There you go.
So
There you go.
eat my butt.
Hey, look, fam, we're here.
I will if you
we're
permit
here. We're here to have you win Blazing.
Bit.
You little bitch. We're here to have you win Blazing. That's like the most important thing. Like, none of this is like BM between any of us. We just want you to pop off. That's really it. Hey, name a better duo other than your friends that you have to carry that want you to pop off.
Eat my cock and balls.
So we are the
Okay.
only ones that want you to pop off.
That's possible.
Yes, I am. You told me.
I'll show you. Shut up, just because I gave you a little bit of power.
Whose clan are you in?
I mean, man.
I mean, you can BM all you want, but who's running the?
Monk is the best.
No, I don't want you to say Monk is the bestest ever. I want you to keep up on what your word is and what you said, because a man is only as strong as his word, and your word's about as strong as a bridge made of twigs.
Well, now I gotta like be better than Monk, and this now.
No, it's not about being better than me. It's about like,
Nope.
Staying to your word.
That's my goal. Just be better than you.
You can do that. Like I'll never forget the night that I came home and like Monk was high. Monk was high, and like I told Monk, he was like, "Yo, Monk, you're like trainer red for me, and I'm blue, and I'm always trying to I'm just trying to grind. I'm trying to be as good as you, dog." And homeboy was like, I can't accept this responsibility right now. I'm too high. I'm high as shit. But like that moment for me has not that hasn't left me. Like I still feel like that. So whenever Monk gets on and he starts popping off, I'm like, all right, let's do this. Like let's grind, let's do this. And who Monk is for me, like he is dependable, reliable.
Like, I may not be a top tier player and I may not be at the top of the directory when I do content create, but it's like at least I'm consistent. I'm gonna be consistent, and that's what I like. Is it's like, I may not be able to like go through like Pit of Heresy with like the Traveler's Chosen and all that shit and flawless it, but at least I'll be like consistent and be able to help with whatever I can. You know what I mean?
That's like really. And like it's perfect that Monk is the leader for the clan, because how it shows up for me. And I know we're supposed to be talking about like D2 stuff, but this stuff is a lot more interesting. It's like that's who you show up and get to be for us. Like, that consistent, reliable, you're always there for us, always like ready to go. And like, and when we need you to frag and like we need you to carry, that's who you are. And you always throwing us a game on like how to do stuff, or like consider this, consider that, and
like,
that's always
like it's like high key. Like me, Ayers, and Saucy were playing Elam's last night, and we got beat the shit out. Like we had the shit beat out of us the first 2 rounds that we played against this team. And I said, guys, stop making fucking stupid mistakes. Like you're peeking when you shouldn't. You need to breathe, recalibrate, because we got this. And like a silence fell over the Discord call, and I was like, I know I was an ass, but we've won the last 2 rounds. So I mean, I don't know what you expect, but we're making good progress, and we're playing the way I know we should. So if it takes me being an ass to get y'all to step up and be the players I know you can be, I'll be that goat. Like I'll be that fucking asshole. Because I mean, the next game we went against the same team. In the game before that, it was like 2-4, 4-0 the next game. I was like, there you go. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I was like, there you go. We're done. Like, that's it. I don't have any more complaints. I'm not gonna say anything else. Y'all fucking popped off, and I know you could have the first game, but you didn't. So I fucking put you back in line. Like I bitch slapped you back in line. Like you're like we're trying, like we're warming up for trials, and then all of a sudden we're just fucking feeding into the enemy, and I'm like, you're not in the mindset. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, they weren't in the mindset, and I was like, all right, bitches, here we go. No, stop doing stupid shit, essentially. And they were like, okay, and then we just started fucking popping off.
Mm-hmm. And look, that's all it takes sometimes, honestly. Like, and I know for like Monk, when me and Monk play, at least, like what I've noticed, like we don't do that as much, but we're definitely like on top of like being responsible for what goes down in matches for one another. Like we're like, oh, okay, I messed this up. I'll make sure not to do that one more time. Or this is what I made a mistake on last time. All right, this is what we're doing this time, and we just keep going like that. And we just have fun. That's a really big thing about it. Like if you're not having fun,
the fun comes inherently.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's just like if some sus shit's happening and we're not really doing anything, we're not making good plays, we're not playing smart, one of us will set us back in line.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's just how it goes. So I honestly think that's a good enough spot to end this right here. I know it's not a full hour, but there's a lot of good stuff that got covered, and it's like things that we talk about. Team comps, team mentality is universal, so we can work with whatever. Like when you listen to this, you can take different parts of it and like apply it to whatever applies to you. So I want to thank all my co-hosts for being here today. Thank you, Blazign, for being here. All right, they appreciate it.
I appreciate you, homie. Thank you.
Thank you, Monk, for being here. I know this is like I just asked you today to do this, but like you really brought something. You like your perspective is like valuable, and you brought like an interesting. Just who you are.
I'm like a 2-mana 4/5 ancient wand.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, 2-mana 4/5 ancient wand.
Can't attack unless I get silenced by a bitch boy in DC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, no.
All right. Awesome. So that's like I said, that's where we're gonna end this. I want to thank you for listening, watching, doing everything you did to be here. Thank you for my lovely co-host. And we will catch you guys next week. All right, that's good. That's a wrap.
They ain't ready for it.
They ain't ready for next week.
Ready for it. No, they ain't ready for next week.
They ain't ready for
completely different.